stop them, but I can't get away from them. They're everywhere, in my face.
Look, Kyle, we just kind of don't care about some dumb prince and his stupid...
Apparently, Meghan Markle is now on the cover of Harper's Bazaar. Okay, she's on the cover of Harper's Bazaar.
And look, South Park is known for satire and for mocking people. No one is safe. This isn't the first time they've done an episode on the royal family, but this particular episode was quite scathing and the grains of truth that it held. And I'm not sure how the Sussexes are taking it. Obviously, it is a cartoon.
And she's going, "Oh, what are you writing about?" I said, "Oh, she's given this interview to Harper's Bazaar magazine."
I'm sorry, I'm just really stressed. We're completely out of money.
Maybe it's time we dip into your fortune from Suits.
There is no fortune from Suits.
Who will sell anything about their privacy, and yet they'll fight privacy battle after privacy battle.
That is just what's happened overnight with this extraordinary cover feature on Harper's Bazaar with Meghan Markle.
Poke fun at Harry, but that a joke on Saturday Night Live was actually funny, more mildly amusing at least. How do you think you'll handle that sort of mockery?
Democrats are people that lean in a certain way, and it's actually Martin Short and Steve Martin that kicked the door open on Saturday.
All right, huge disclaimer, we are not reading the entire Bazaar article because it was bizarre, and honestly, Meghan Markle is just, let me think about it, Delulu with the capital D.
I don't care. Don't care.
What the hell?
What did he just say? He victimized me. It's because I'm an ethnic woman. He can't do that. I'll do. Wait, you're ethnic? This is an outrage. There's this horrible spy who lives across the street from us, and we're gonna get him back by changing our brand.
Is this you? Sorority girl, actress, influencer, victim.
Yeah, that's totally me.
Meghan Markle sold her soul to the devil to get a cover, not on Vogue, which is the one that she wanted, but on Harper's Bazaar. Oh, bizarre.
Meghan's buying it kosher, and I don't think there's much on the inside. There's talk that the royals are going to sue over this episode now. Would you recommend they do that kosher?
Meghan Markle, and to no one's surprise, it is the exact same stories and sound bites and tidbits.
This woman looks to me like a malignant narcissist. This woman has zero self-awareness.
Meghan Markle, okay, she was British royalty. Meghan Markle was as high as you could get in British society and basically global society. I mean, we just saw they had a massive state dinner at Windsor Castle.
Can't sue a cartoon. It's satire. It is what it is. South Park has done episodes on the royal family, on the royal wedding of Kate and William, for instance. So it's not something that they would be able to sue about. And I genuinely just don't believe it.
But Harry and old Meghan, you know, it's good for the goose, I guess.
God love them. Well, I tell you what, Trey Parker and Matt Stone cashed up.
It's important we do this ourselves, Harry, and not live off your family.
I agree. We'll just have to find a way to make £50 billion on our own.
You won't believe what just happened. Meghan Markle worked so hard this month to make everything perfect. She did a fancy photo shoot for Harper's Bazaar magazine. The lighting was so intense it could make anyone cry. Her makeup was soft and gentle, like she was starting fresh. She posed slowly and beautifully, like a princess in a storybook. This was supposed to be her big return. She wanted everyone to remember that she's still powerful and can grab attention with just one look. Every picture showed she wanted a second chance. But things didn't go as planned.
Magazine editor that wanted to turn you into a star, that in their cover feature...
The Harper's Bazaar interview was written like a fairy tale about royalty. It was beautiful writing that made Meghan seem like a misunderstood hero who was bravely taking back her story and her place in the spotlight. For a little while, it actually worked. People started saying, "She's back." Her photos were everywhere online. People said nice things, and Meghan's helpers probably felt so relieved. For one short, shiny moment, the world seemed ready to forgive her and love her again. Then South Park noticed it.
And it seems like that lady is a temptress. She's a siren. She's lured him into the rocks.
In just a few days, the TV show's writers turned her Harper's Bazaar interview into one of their meanest and most embarrassing jokes ever. They didn't just make fun of her, they destroyed her image completely.
So many people in our car?
It's not a car, Harry, it's a bus.
And why does it smell?
We're going to work, Harry, because HGTV canceled our show and we need money.
You can't get work acting, so now you're teaching it, which kind of makes sense and kind of doesn't.
They made fun of how dramatic and self-important she acted, the over-the-top, I'm reborn feeling, the way too serious storytelling, and those painfully poetic words she used to sound smart and hurt. And here's the really bad part. Millions of people agreed with every joke. People say Meghan completely freaked out. She felt shocked, embarrassed, and betrayed, not just by the media but by regular people who used to love her. The same internet that praised how graceful she was suddenly turned against her. Her team tried to calm her down, but the embarrassment spread super fast, and no amount of PR help could fix it. This was only the start. South Park didn't attack her randomly. They picked their target carefully, and Meghan accidentally gave them the perfect material. See, South Park only makes fun of moments that feel too perfect, too exaggerated, or just asking to be mocked. And Meghan's Harper's Bazaar interview checked every single box. It wasn't a simple celebrity interview. It was a huge production pretending to be journalism. The writer didn't just describe her, they worshipped her like she was some kind of prophet. Every sentence painted Meghan as the misunderstood hero of a mean world. And then there was that one line that went viral. Meghan is the true voice of modern royalty. That phrase blew up online. People took screenshots, made memes, and laughed nonstop. The internet had already started the joke. South Park just finished it. They exaggerated everything. Her photo shoot's stiff poses, her distant eyes, the moody lighting that tried way too hard to look royal. What was supposed to feel powerful suddenly looked empty. Viewers didn't see someone reborn. They saw someone stuck in her own act. When the Harper's Bazaar interview finally came out, it got even worse. The poetic speeches, the dramatic comparisons, the constant self-mythology, it was all too much. For someone who kept saying she wanted a quiet, private life, Meghan was giving them an Oscar speech. And the internet didn't miss that contradiction. How could someone beg for privacy while releasing another emotional magazine spread? One part of the article described her walking into a restaurant like a scene from a royal drama. And that single line caused a storm. People joked it sounded like fanfiction written by her PR team. Soon after, South Park's parody aired, and it was brutal. They didn't hold back. The cartoon Meghan said overly dramatic lines that sounded like bad inspirational quotes while slow music played. She talked about privacy as a spotlight literally followed her everywhere. Every time she whispered, "I just want to be left alone," another camera popped up behind her. The audience laughed loudly because they instantly recognized the truth. Meghan's real interviews always came right after she said she wanted less attention. Then came the photo shoot parody. South Park recreated her Harper's Bazaar look exactly. The pose, the wind, the sad expression, and the hollow royal vibe. It was cruelly accurate. Side-by-side comparisons flooded social media, and even Meghan's fans couldn't defend her. Inside her team, everyone panicked. Insiders say Meghan paced around repeating, "Why would they do this? Why now?" She felt personally attacked. But the truth was simpler. The parody went viral because people already thought her image was overdone. Her team begged her to stay quiet, but silence only made her look weak, and Meghan hates looking powerless. Late-night shows joined in with more jokes, more memes, more side-by-sides of her real photo shoot next to the cartoon. Hollywood noticed, and that's when things got even darker. Producers and executives started asking a dangerous question. Is Meghan Markle becoming a meme? Because once a celebrity becomes a joke, no brand wants to work with them. An insider said it clearly. If South Park comes for you, the audience is already halfway gone. Executives began studying her Harper's Bazaar interview, wondering why it felt so dramatic, so fake, so scripted. Some even questioned if Meghan understood the American audience anymore. They wanted authenticity, not another self-glorifying fairy tale. Worse, people in the industry started whispering that other comedy shows might follow South Park's lead. Late-night hosts, YouTubers, TikTok creators. Everyone started picking apart her every photo, every line, every sigh. Meghan had officially become internet joke material, and that terrified her team because once the internet labels you a try-hard, there's no going back. The Harper's Bazaar interview, meant to relaunch her image as graceful and mature, had instead exposed how fragile her brand really was. The public didn't feel curious anymore. They felt like they'd seen it all before. The same stories, the same tears, the same "I was silenced" speeches. People had heard it all. South Park didn't create that tiredness. They just showed it on screen. And let's not forget the damage to Prince Harry in the episode. He wasn't the hero. He was the sidekick, a confused follower echoing every line Meghan said. It was painful because deep down, people already saw him that way. In real life, Harry reportedly felt uncomfortable, not angry, because the parody wasn't far from reality. It reflected exactly what the world had been saying for years, that he wasn't leading anymore. He was just part of Meghan's brand. Polls showed his popularity dropping lower than ever. The South Park episode didn't just make fun of them, it cemented their reputation as Hollywood's most mocked couple. Behind closed doors, Meghan's PR team went into emergency mode. They knew this wasn't the kind of scandal you could bury. Comedy hits differently. It sticks forever. Within hours, Meghan's advisors were on emergency calls. The first idea, say nothing. But the clips weren't fading. They were everywhere. The second idea, push new positive stories. Release unseen photos from the Bazaar shoot. But some team members stopped it instantly. If we do that now, it'll look desperate. The third idea was the most dangerous, Meghan responding herself. But everyone knew what happens when you reply to South Park. You lose twice. Because when people realize the joke hurt you, they just laugh louder. Insiders said the mood in Meghan's circle was like walking on eggshells. Her friends didn't know what to say. Her team didn't know what to do. Even her PR head reportedly said, "We can't fix this with pretty quotes." Then came the scariest part. Whispers that a major U.S. outlet was preparing a follow-up investigation into her Harper's Bazaar interview. Not a flattering feature, but a deep dive. They've been reaching out to stylists and staff from the shoot, asking uncomfortable questions. Did Meghan shape the narrative herself? Did she demand those poetic lines? Her team panicked. If that story ever dropped, it wouldn't just show the interview as dramatic, it would expose it as manufactured. And South Park wasn't done either. The writers hinted they might return to her story if she gave them more material. That was Meghan's worst nightmare, becoming a recurring joke. Because when South Park turns you into a character, you don't live it down, you live beside it. Every new interview becomes a reminder. Every photo shoot feels like a setup for another punchline. So Meghan's anger slowly turned into fear. Fear that the Harper's Bazaar comeback she poured her heart into might have become the moment that ended her credibility for good. Now every time she steps into the public eye, she can't escape it. That echo of laughter from millions who've already made up their minds. As one insider put it quietly, she wanted to rebuild her image, but South Park built her shadow instead. The whispers only grew louder, and Meghan could feel the walls closing in. What was meant to be her rebirth was turning into her biggest failure. Insiders say she stopped checking her phone for a few days because every scroll brought a new meme, a new headline, a new clip replaying her most royal moments now with laugh tracks. The irony burned. She had poured her heart into every detail, the lighting, the dress, even the posture meant to project confidence, and now it was being used as comedy material. Friends tried comforting her, saying, "It'll pass." But Meghan knew better. The internet never forgets. Behind the scenes, the PR team was losing sleep. Meetings stretched into the early morning hours. Some members pushed for a reset plan, perhaps a podcast appearance, maybe a charity event to remind people of her humanitarian side. Others begged to wait it out, terrified that anything she did would reignite the flames. "Every move right now looks like a reaction," one insider reportedly said. "She's not steering her story anymore. The story is steering her." And then came the worst blow. Someone inside the team leaked that Meghan had been furious about the South Park parody. That leak spread everywhere. Now, not only was she mocked on screen, but also painted as a diva who couldn't take a joke. Late-night hosts doubled down, turning her anger into another punchline. Harry, on the other hand, tried to stay calm, but even he couldn't hide the discomfort. The parody showed him as a clueless follower, and that image stuck. Every article began describing him as Meghan's shadow, not Prince Harry. It hurt his pride quietly but deeply. Privately, Meghan began realizing the true damage. This wasn't just about a cartoon. This was about control. Every year since leaving the palace, she had tried to own her narrative. Oprah, Netflix, Spotify, now Harper's Bazaar. Each time she believed it would be the version that finally worked. But instead of redemption, it kept circling back to mockery. That night, as one source described, Meghan sat in silence, staring at her own magazine cover. "It was supposed to be power," she whispered, but all she saw was a reflection that no longer felt like hers. In Hollywood's harsh light, where image is everything, Meghan's brand had shifted from aspirational to exhausting. The public didn't see resilience anymore. They saw repetition. And when South Park turned her story into a mirror, she couldn't look away. The fear wasn't that people were laughing. It was that they weren't listening anymore. And that's worse than ridicule, because once the world stops taking you seriously, every word you say sounds like another performance. And as insiders put it bluntly, Meghan's not just fighting South Park, she's fighting her own echo.